Heyo, this is Stracco, and today we are going to be trying a very cool build. So what we have Strength plus 3, Boost attack power of added affinity and character skill attack power improved, and Stamina recovers with each successful attack, character skill cooldown reduction plus 2. The idea behind this build is simple. I want to try Strength Duchess, with a focus on getting posture breaks by replaying previous hits. We're going to just select everything but Sentient Pest, and we're going to actually make sure that we're in single player this time. What on earth is that? I want to go check that out. Anyway, so the hardest part about trying to play Strength Duchess is honestly that you tend to not get drops of items that your character isn't good with. So if you're playing like Wilder, it gives you more great swords. If you're playing Raider, you get more ultra weapons. As Duchess, you tend to get more daggers. Now, obviously, it's not perfect. You do get some variety, but it tends to skew more heavily towards actually giving you what your character wants. So, like, you'll see a lot more daggers and staves as Duchess, especially if you're doing, like, what is it, the loot drop things, and not just trying to find it in the world. So the first thing to do is actually get some drops and find a strength weapon so that this build works and I'm not just playing Duchess without any buffs. Duchess, I also brought the +3 strength in this build, right? Normally, the pure stat boosts aren't really worth doing. I would say Duchess is... I'd say the exception is if you're ever trying to do a build where the stat that you need for that build isn't what your character actually gets with leveling. So at level 15, right, the highest level you could be, Duchess has a strength score of 11. Just for perspective, Raider has a strength score of 68, and Duchess's dex is 41. So there is a massive difference in having a +3 to strength versus the base of 11. Just because it's relative, you know? Bringing Raider's strength from 68 to 71 really doesn't do anything. Bringing Duchess's strength from 11 to 14 is almost a 50% increase. So, it adds up. Wow. Whoa. There we go, Lord Sworn Straight Sword. I was gonna say I dodged. I did dodge, it just was being weird. Now, I unfortunately don't really have... Oh, there we go. I was gonna say any good way to hit this thing, but it just did it for me. We figured it out. I also put Endure on my dagger. That's a terrible decision, but... figured it could be cool. See, this is what I mean. Notice how it tries to give me a dagger. Like, it just... It's really nice, don't get me wrong, but when it's not what you want, it's really frustrating too. Because how do you... Man, it all comes back to I wish that they would just let me... I didn't realize I was holding a staff. I wish that they would just let me use different starting weapons. That was very, very smooth. Because it would open up so much variety. Even if they were only like white rarity starting weapons, it'd be cool. Oh, you know what else would be cool? Knowing what I'm fighting. I am fighting Augur. God dang it. That's actually annoying for two reasons, because my video for tomorrow is there's one character who is ridiculously good at fighting against Augur that people probably would never expect, and I wanted to make a video on that because it's so funny to watch. Ah, well, worst comes to worst, 2 days back-to-back of Augur won't be the worst, but, like, that's still, what are the chances? One thing that's been on my mind, too, I might branch out and start doing live commentaries on some other games. Like, lightly edited live commentaries. I don't want to make whole series live commentaries like I'm doing for Nightreign, because, honestly, this is the only game that I like enough where I'd want to do that. Oh. Huh. I didn't know that this could spawn. And is this just a place to duplicate weapons? I think I've seen this, like, once before. But yeah, okay. Huh. That's really... I love the randomness of the game. And yup, okay, you can replicate an armament. Yay. The reason I did that is because now I've got 2 plus skill attack powers, and that just adds up. It's not just me trolling around for the sake of it. So now I bet you this Fire Breath does pretty crazy damage. Yeah, 104. Crazy, right? I really like using the Duchess's... I'm gonna pretend that I didn't see that. I really like using Duchess's rewind skill to finish off enemies that I just don't want to dedicate another hit to. I'm not really sure what I want to do next in this run. I guess we'll hit up this rise. We've got 2 churches down there. Maybe we could see if that's a mini-boss and not a boss, but I don't really know. I got kind of a dead spawn, honestly, and then I wasted a lot of time going to look at the turtle. Which, you know, always worth, but still weird. What is this rise? Answer... Ah, here it is. You can see that in the reflection of the water, if you're wondering how to solve that normally. You know what I kind of want to do, too? I want to do a... improved guarding ability. Okay, just give me nothing. I want to do a video on kind of ranking all of the different boss relics right before... And I want to try to do this right before the release of the new ones that are coming on July 30th. I also think that on July 30th, I want to make a more special video of fighting all of those. Maybe even like a little bit of a guide, right? I think I'm pretty good at doing quick guides. Other than that, what's been going on in my life? You know, trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing still. I think more shorts is the way to go, because the difference in views, if you're someone who wants to try to start up YouTube, right? The difference in views between shorts and long-form videos is insane. Like, your shorts can get 400,000 views casually, where a long-form video, you're gonna be lucky to get like a few hundred. Now, granted, any random video could pop off, especially if people resonate with it, but shorts are just like the best way to grow. More people see you, and for everyone who sees you, that's a chance that somebody likes and subscribes. Really, I'm describing marketing. It's funny, people that are extremely good at marketing tend to also do well in YouTube. Because it's the same sort of skill set of you need to create a brand, you need to be pretty consistent with it, you need to gain consumer trust, and then, like, keep the consistency over time. Don't fall into bad business practices. As someone who has been in the business world for... everything that I'm seeing to fight is not a thing that I can fight at level 5. As someone who's been into the business world for, like, quite a bit, right? You have no idea how hard it is to convince people that whatever you're doing is actually something that they would want to experience or have. And it doesn't even matter if they need it. Like, that's the crazy part. Your ability to do something almost doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to convince people that you can do it. So, just as an example, when people would move, like someone was telling me a story at a business convention of, a lot of the time, if your house is foreclosed on, or you move and you don't finish paying it off, the bank will resell your house. And I'm not going to be explaining this perfectly because this is not my hustle. But there is money that you are entitled to if this happens. And a lot of people don't know that they need to go out of their way to claim this money. So what, we'll call them entrepreneurs and not sharks abusing people to get free money. But what they would do is they would look for people who had this happen, and oftentimes it was like $20,000 was on the table that this person hadn't claimed, and they'd say, hey, we'll go lobby on your behalf, we'll get this money for you. What we need from you is, we need you to sign this document claiming that we get this amount of it. So they would give the person who they were getting the money for like $5,000-$6,000, and they'd take like 15 in payment. Yeah, I mean, it was super scummy, but hey, the person who didn't even know that they were entitled to money typically was pretty happy with this. But, and this is what made it funny, and this is what made it so funny to me, the dude who was doing this was telling the story, and he was like, yeah, would you believe that when you call up people's number and you try to tell them, hey, I can get you free money, most of them don't believe you? So he talked about how he would contact this person's, like, family, friends, anyone who's connected with them, trying to tell them, hey, I can get your friend a lot of money if he just reaches out to me and talks to me. I don't know, the idea of someone, right, actually trying to give someone like $5,000 to $6,000, which, yeah, I just explained that they would take the majority of it, but still, $5,000 or $6,000 that you didn't know you could have, no one's gonna say no to that, except if they think it's a scam. So, it's so hard to get people to actually do stuff if they don't trust you. You need that trust first, and that's what marketing is meant to do. So, just for example with me, I can fix any computer or app problem that you can think of. Like, I know for a fact I can, it's what I did for 5 years, but when I tell that to a random stranger, and I tell them that my rate is like quite a bit of money for that, a lot of the time, they don't trust it. Which is, you know, the point of a portfolio, but even a portfolio, people lie all the time. So what can you actually trust? Well, the answer for most people, actually, is good vibes. As goofy as that sounds, a lot of the most successful businessmen just do a good job. I am getting grabbed out of this. A lot of the most successful businesses just have somebody involved with them that is really good at talking to people and selling them on stuff. How does this actually relate to YouTube, though? Well, I mean, similar deal. You're competing with other people for attention. I don't feel like I need any more stamina recovery because stamina recovery on hit is insanely strong. But you're competing for attention. You're competing for the idea that you know what you're talking about and provide some sort of value that someone else doesn't. And you're also, like, thumbnails, titles, descriptions, all of that. You can make the best content in the world. If you're not pushing it in the right way and marketing it, it won't matter. Which is so crazy to me, because I know for a fact that there are people that make better content than, like, I can imagine, that don't even get an opportunity for others to look at it because of just, they're not good at marketing. Sorry, I have to focus a little bit. These, we call them 3 points of articulation cats, but they're actually a little bit difficult to fight. Hey. I think they're really cool, though. There we go. The rusty anchor probably isn't the best weapon, but it's what I found strength, and I Said we were going to be doing a strength video, so... You know, base Elden Ring, those would spin so fast with that I'm really not sure how you're supposed to dodge. Whatever I'm holding has wraiths while walking with the torch. Ooh, backstab. I forget you could backstab these guys, because it happens so rarely. Alright, let's see what I'm fighting. No! This is actually rough. I'm using a fire weapon. I'm playing Strength Duchess. And I'm fighting the Smelter Demon. Not sure how this one's gonna go. You know... That's not bad. Uh-oh. So I should be able to take one more hit because I have, yeah, improved damage negation after getting hit. Man. I've been working on the Black Myth Wukong video, which I'm excited for because it's gonna be it's become kind of my first review of a game. And I have a question for you guys about games, right? If I told you that this game is going to be boring for 80 hours, but after 80 hours, the last 5 are the best game that you'll ever play, would you play it? Like, would that be worth it to you? This isn't... there you go, the stagger off of the replay. This isn't about Black Myth Wukong in particular. It's a question that the game made me wonder. Like, when a game has a lot of highs and lows, what level of... Like, what are you willing to sit through to get to the highs? Is it hundreds of hours of gameplay? Is it like a few hours of it being bad? Is it 30 minutes and then you're just bored and never touch it again? I don't know, because that's a question that I feel is very important when you're talking about the overall quality of a game, because I think there's many games, I mean, any story, really, is going to have highs and lows, but where does that leave you? Like, at what point are the lows too low for you to want to continue with whatever you're doing? Whether it be the story, the gameplay, like, whatever. When do you just go, yeah, this isn't for me, whatever? God, I deal 0 damage to this thing. Whoosh. By far, by the way, just as an aside while I'm beating on this Smelter Demon, the best relic passive in the game, in my opinion, is the stamina recovers on attacks effect. With it, you basically never run out of stamina. It's insane. With it, I feel like I don't need any endurance ups, I don't need anything. I can just keep swinging, even if it means smacking a Smelter Demon for 15 minutes straight. Ow. Ugh. The most annoying part of this is that he constantly is burning me, so theoretically there's a level where my damage would be too low to win. Just objectively can't beat him. Huh. I swore he became blue at some point. Is that just if you go too long without staggering him? One neat thing about the Smelter Demon, I like that his face has the big hole in it like a giant. I replayed nothing because I thought he had already gotten hit. And there we go. Well, that was a fire weapon against the Smelter Demon. Not bad. Why not? We'll get another while walking effect. There should be a mini-boss by that tree. Let's go look at what he is. And then I think it's time to hit up the fortress after. I'm sorry, what is that? Oh, it's a flower. Okay, we're good. I thought this was another Blackblade Kindred, and I was going to go insane. But yeah, Black Myth Wukong made me think about that a little bit, because I just don't know. Like, I don't know what level I'm willing to cope with, because you know, for me, if I'm not having fun, I stop. And I stop pretty quickly. Like, I might give it a minute, but beyond that, I don't want to sit there desperately trying to hope the game gets better. If it's boring me, I'm bored. So, yeah. As a complete topic change, you know who actually is a pretty good inspiration for doing content stuff? I don't know how he is as a person. I don't know, like... No skill. Damn, roast me like that. I don't know how this guy is as a person. Like, I don't know a lot of things, but when it comes to his content grind, I respect what he's done, and that is Ludwig. Or Ludwig. I don't know exactly how to say his name. But, what he did when he wanted to get his start, right, is he just started showing up. He always would show up. And that's the most important thing, right? Like, I should actually find a lightning... That's a lightning camp. I should do that because I need a lightning weapon against this fight. But, showing up is easily half the battle with this. You're gonna have days... And, you know, let's make this about life. Showing up is half the battle in life. Because there's gonna be days where you're tired, you feel like you're not really able to do what you want to do, and the only thing that you can do is show up. Like, you'll feel like you'll feel like you aren't enough, you'll be, like, drained, you'll question the value in what you're doing in the first place. You might not have a plan, you might not feel proud of what you're doing in the moment, but just showing up and being there anyway is, I mean, that's just so important to doing anything, right? The moment that you decide that I didn't realize I was holding this, but I mean, I guess it worked out. The moment that you decide that you just can't do something and stop, that's where it gets easy to kind of let yourself fall out of the habit of working at it. Hey, I'm gonna die. Whoa. I forgot that I don't get a res because I'm, not fighting a real boss. I was literally gonna let myself die. Well. Dead. If you want to know the value for the Duchess, it is... I can crit him. Nice. The Duchess's replayability replays 50% of the damage base, 40% if you activate it with the Dagger Relic, and 60% if you have the thing that boosts skill attack power, which is what I'm using. Please have something good. I think this is a Wilder, so... a Wilder's great sword, sure. Okay, you know what? I don't... Stop. I don't feel like dealing with this. That effect Duchess has, by the way, that, massively... It increases your attack for every enemy defeated while invisible, is so incredibly strong when you can actually use it, but most of the time, you just can't use it. Like, if you kill 5 or 6 enemies with that, you hit like a truck. Reason being, improved lightning attack power, I'll take that. But reason being, buffs in this game are multiplicative. So if you have a 20% attack boost and then another 20% attack boost, it's not a 40% attack boost, it's a 44.44 something percent attack boost. Because the first 20% buff will buff the next 20% buff. So just to make it easier, if you're dealing 100 damage a hit, and you get a 20% damage boost, you do 120. If you get another damage boost, you don't do 140, you do 144. Which is why, if you can get, like, if you activate the thing where you get a damage boost for killing enemies while you're invisible, and then you go somewhere that lets you kill, like, 7 or 8 enemies, you're getting a completely out-of-pocket buff. And then if you use a weapon skill and you've got any other things that buff, like weapon skills or something, it all stacks together. I've borderline one-shot bosses. Lightning twinned knight swords. Hell yeah. I've borderline one-shot bosses by, using this. Ow. Alright, well, this is my lightning weapon if I don't find anything better, because I'm fighting Augur and I've got a fire weapon. I'm literally going to be facing the thing made out of water. Actually, thinking about Augur, what's the lore for that thing? Like, I never considered it, but why is there just a sentient thing of water that floats around and makes weird noises and can conjure more enemies for you to fight? I feel like, that's a great example of just getting caught up in the it's a video game mentality and not thinking. Because what the hell is Augur? He literally doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Whoa. Duchess has... sorry, I hate when my voice pops like that. But, Duchess has the lowest iframes in the game on her dodge. Her first dodge. This, like, quick little step only has 8 iframes. Guardian, with his slow-ass sidestep, has, I want to say, 10 or 11. But that also means that you can act the quickest out of her dodge. So one thing that you can do with Duchess that makes her feel a lot better than other characters is you can dodge into your attacks, and you barely lose any time. Also, with the dodge offset, it applies to any weapon, not just daggers. So if you have chain attack things and you do this, you get to the final hit of the chain attack, even though you're spamming dodge, which no other character can do. It's just a neat little gameplay quirk. Wah. Wah. At some point, what I might start doing is writing down ideas of what I... There you go. Improved chain attack finishers. I could actually make that work with this anchor. I have a lot of kukris. Alright, we've officially hit the point where it's starting to not make sense that I'm not at the fortress, so we're gonna go to the fortress. Can I upgrade anything? Nope. The fortress was Crucible Knights, which, crucially, is really miserable for me. Yeah, without status effects, specifically Frostbite, I find that these things just don't die. But... oh well. I'm trading with that. Ow. Ow. I shouldn't waste time on this guy. It sucks I already wasted some time, though. Alright, I'll kill this one, but then I can't commit to more. Damage negation up while charging would actually be very nice. He should be about to stagger. If you ever hit their shield, it baits out... oh no, I hit him again! Ugh. If you ever hit their shield, though, it baits out this attack, which is actually a very good punish for you, if you want to take it as such. Because you can roll through it and then get a free hit. And that works with, like, every weapon in the game, as far as I'm aware. The only problem is, don't mistime it. Same for that one, if you dodge into them. And that. And he's down. Okay. So that's going to be like 27,000 runes. So that was worth doing, but dude, I'm cutting it close here. In terms of actually getting any drops from this fortress. If I go down here and it's a bell-bearing hunter, I might just be screwed. Please not, please not, please not. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dad. Dude, why do they have a million different timing mix-ups that they can do in order to mess with you? Alright, well, I don't think I can beat him before... I definitely can't beat him before the time runs out. What do I even say to... Well, I'm glad I was recording. Should go this way, actually. Yeah, how do I recover? Man. Well, I mean, I can get this to get a quick level. Quick 2 levels. I can probably do this Evergal as long as it's not an ancient dragon. Yeah, shoot, that has completely cooked my entire perspective on what I can do in this run. Yeah, if you'd like to see me do any videos on a different roguelike, like, I've been enjoying Noita. I used to play the hell out of Binding of Isaac, but I kind of stopped because, I'd done everything. Like, in base Binding of Isaac Rebirth, I had done everything, and so I just didn't really have a thing to keep working towards. Like, I didn't do every challenge, I didn't do, like, every super niche thing, but I did everything that I could think of that sounded fun. But honestly, maybe I could go back and do some of that. Hey, stop. Stop. Please, I don't have the time to be getting sauced by stupid Crystallians. Replay? One more hit? Okay. One more hit? Okay. Please? You might think me stupid for going out of my way to stance break all of them before I actually kill any of them. You might be right. We'll see how this goes, honestly. I might be screwed. I'm hitting them like I'm using a wet noodle. There we go, lightning's a little more effective. Please, can we just pretend it's the lightning and not the fact that I'm actually using a dex weapon for a second? Yeah, if you pretend, I'll pretend. Why can it just pivot 180 in place? Nothing else in the game. Nothing else in the game does that. Wow, I'm screwed. Don't potioners result in a bell-bearing hunter spawn? Dude. I can't... Oh god, it's the final boss of the game. No! Okay. I'm only alive because of the take, or have damage negation after getting hit perk. Take a breath. Survive. I had an oddly wholesome moment in Valorant, of all things, which... I know a lot of people, that game gets a really bad rep, and I'm not immune... Dude, I hate these guys. Strongest enemy in the game. But I mean, I'm not immune to the Valorant hate. When the game first came out, referred to it as weaponized boredom. But it's come a long way. Because now, with Valorant, what is really cool is the amount of content in the game is probably 4 times what it was when the game first existed. Like, when Valorant first came out, I think it had 8 or so agents and 4 maps, which, for a game that's a CSGO-like, meant that almost every game felt the exact same. Right? Hey, why is he so fast? So almost every game was feeling the exact same. But now there's, God, I want to say like 11 or 12 maps, maybe a little less, maybe like 8 or 9. But there's way more maps and way more agents. So playing the game, it feels like there's always something new in whatever game that you get into. Which is all I really want when I'm playing a game that is by nature kind of repetitive. I want variety. Like, I don't want every game to feel the exact same. He's out healing. That was the most clutch rewind ever. But he was out healing my damage. He's killing me. Okay. I just can't get hit. It's fine. It's just like fighting the tree sentinel outside of the place where you spawn. I'm gonna actually use this for iframes. I don't trust myself to dodge. Hey. Wait, because I went invisible, is the ghost horse just staying? What do I do? I'm telling you, Duchess is the best at making the game look broken. I don't know if you can dodge through that with a single dodge. If you can, it's very tight, so I'd rather just dodge twice and stay safe. Okay, very cool. Now, I die in one more hit. We're gonna try to not get that one more hit. Unfortunately, sometimes you try and don't succeed. Well, I got hit by the best thing I could have, which was a very weak attack. He just healed himself. Oh boy, I am living dangerously. You know, I think tree sentinels are some of the coolest enemies that you can fight. Like, once you actually get how their moves work, they're really, really cool. Anyway, though. Improved stance breaking all the way. I might go on a little run to get my runes back. I don't like that I lost those. I might also grab that crab on the way. Now, I have to say, it sucks that you can't finish off bosses in the storm on night 2 like you used to be able to. I completely 100% agree with this change. I don't know if you guys experienced this, but back when that was still a thing, there were a few times in multiplayer where my teammates would try to run off into the storm to farm a little bit more because they felt like they weren't strong enough to win. And it was the most annoying... it's trolling me. It was the most annoying thing, right? Because you either become the bad guy and just get into the snot, and then, you know, you're, forcing... I think after a minute, it forces them to come with you. But, like, you're gonna make your entire team angry if you would do that. Or you have to sit there for 10, 15 minutes while they tried to farm up to level 15 in the storm. Okay, time for a fun little tip. If ever you accidentally spend all your runes, die. And then you could pick them up right here. And now I could buy the Swending Grace. Which means that I'm not going to be able to get to level 13, but like, level 12 is the soft cap anyway. And we're going to put the Fire Scorpion Charm down because I'm not going to be using fire against... I'm not going to be using fire against the Augur. I'm already trolling. I don't need to be trolling that hard. I find Augur is also often a test of your endurance, so we are going to take... do I want FP? I'll take FP. There we go. We're going to take the steadily restore HP, and we're going to take some extra FP. And that's everything I can hold. Really, I could drop the Kukris for anything else, but... eh. Now, the nice thing about having the Twin Blade is that while the Gargoyle one actually is a strength weapon, mildly, so, you know, still strength Duchess, but it has a very wild hitbox that goes all around you. And I'll show off exactly why that's so important. Alright. Augur. Let's do it. I feel like I never initially am looking in the right direction against Augur. Okay, watch. 1. There you go. So do you notice that did 561 damage to him? Yeah, the way Augur works... actually, 600. Oh, no, there we go, another 50. The way Augur works is when you kill anything that it summons in, it takes damage. So you can kill this entire boss without hitting it if you felt like it. I wouldn't quite go that far with it myself, because, like, it would be miserable. The only scary part of Augur is that attack. But, here, just to show off that it applies to everything. See? Look at it go. 192. So if ever you can't hit Augur, you can. Now, unfortunately, I can't make it to Augur here. Oh! Cool! It got staggered from, all of the things that I was breaking. Yeah, the things that you can hit actually do pretty decent posture damage as well. Now, tip for Duchess, if you ever deal about 2/3 of something's health, you can finish it off by using your skill. Ooh. Aha, nice try, Augur. There you go. Yeah, ever since I learned that hitting Augur doesn't have to involve hitting Augur, I've really loved this fight. Ow. I mean, really is a little strong, but I haven't hated this fight. It's only when I was trying to chase him around the whole time where I was like, this sucks. Was that lightning? I didn't realize I had. I thought this had quick step on it. Ow. Augur should be trying to do his special soon. I'm getting hit. Ow. Come on, do your thing. If you play Iron Eye with a lightning bow, I find this to be the most relaxing fight. Full stop. That was unique. Bah. Why wasn't that enough? Well, I don't know what to say to that. I definitely hit Augur with lightning. It just didn't care. Hitting him with lightning is, or her, I don't know. It's, again, it's a giant blob of... It's just a giant blob. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but why didn't it care? Usually if it goes into that animation where it starts... what's the word? That animation where it starts, like, charging up. Ick. Hitting it with lightning will instantly knock it out. Not instantly, but, like, quickly knock it out. Just for whatever reason, it wasn't having that today, so it didn't work. I wonder if a charge attack into my skill. Yep. Charge attack into skill, it dies. Now, unfortunately, I'm so far from everything. I'm getting... Oh, I'm not getting hit. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, I really want to show off exactly why Guardian is so good at this. It's hilarious. No! No! Not like this! Okay, alternatively, you can just run away from these, because they try to go just out of your range, and depth perception is hard against Augur. I don't know if it's all the blue or what, but honestly, that was a good showing. I also think Strength Duchess is genuinely pretty good. Like, it's not bad. It's not like Strength Revenant, where it's funny but you're trolling. Or, Wizard Raider, where you're hitting for 40 damage, even with, like, Comet Azure. Would recommend, like, give it a try. It's a fun way to change up how you're playing. The only thing I will say is, have a friend play like Raider or Wilder, because otherwise you don't get strength weapon drops, and it's so annoying. But yeah, till next time, see ya.